casa bonita. Need to not wear my glasses. Casa bonita, casa bonita. Thank God I can still read. Let's try anyway. Hello everyone, John here. It is really hot. At 1 AM on the 29th of November last year, we made it to 1,000 subscribers. I'd been doing this for nearly 18 months by this point, and the fact I'd hit that milestone took a few months to sink in. Cue January, and I put a post up on YouTube saying I'd be doing a 1,000 sub special, where I'd answer your burning questions. The fact that I did this took a few months to sink in. Cue now, where I'm somewhat belatedly doing said special in an attempt to keep up weekly uploads in the face of my sudden interest in animation. You'll see what I mean next week. Yeah. With that, and the long wait you've already had, let's get to the questions. Midwest Guru 91 asks, what are your hopes for the channel? Do you intend to focus solely on Dwarf Fortress, or do you have aspirations to branch out to other games? My hopes when you asked this were to keep growing in this niche. Dwarf Fortress is an anomalous game of almost limitless content. It's a Mad Libs generator with technically incredible detail, but little obvious visually. You wouldn't know from looking that a dwarf is soaked in his own tears, but the act of pointing that out is so free to interpretation. Did his children die? Did he lose his favourite sock? It's ripe with potential and works very well with my own style and sense of humour. I guess I'm an editor at heart. But I can't say I'm particularly happy in this niche. Dwarf Fortress is a technical and granular game. It has a reputation of being difficult to play and enjoy, and I think that draws in those who are looking for a more serious type of content creation. Krug's videos may be filled with charm and whimsy, but it can't be denied that he is very good at the game, and that technical skill keeps that part of the audience engaged enough to let their hair down and enjoy the interpretation. That's just not me, and not for years yet, and accepting my limitations means also accepting my flaws. One game I'm very good at is RimWorld. I've played thousands of hours to the point I'm now bored of it. Same happened with Project Zomboid. I don't want to get bored of Dwarf Fortress. Now, I've been eyeing up Kenshi more and more. I've played enough of that to understand the basics, and although graphically it's more difficult to make my own interpretations, I'm sure I can work out some of my flair from it. But yeah, hope that answers your question. Some generic handle asks, I'd like to hear your process, whether you come up with ideas and manipulate the game, or use the game to drive the narrative. I suspect it's a bunch of give and take. Your audio design is really nice too, so maybe some words on music selections, etc. So it is a little of both. Generally what I try to do is have a basic idea for what I want from a fortress and find the perfect place to set up, and then work towards that basic goal. With Labourlord it was the boat, with Channel Glazes the pyramid. Hammerlock was supposed to be the creation of a necromancer tower, but we have no books on the secrets of life and death in the Dimension of Destiny, so it turned into just nonsense, and Mirrorgleam was about sacrificing dwarves to phlegm, but I wimped out. Then, episode to episode, I just play until I've got enough footage for an episode, and from what I've got, I work out a basic plot. Wrong word, really, but I work out either a really loose theme or let the guys take centre stage for backstory or whatever I think is funny and fits. As for audio design, it started with me having a video clip and then searching Epidemic Sounds for a piece of music that fit the clip exactly, because I was mental. The second I realised I could fade the music out, that stopped, and I just lent into finding songs that fit the vibe of the verse, because I split my episodes into verses for editing purposes. I've tried to keep to one genre of music for specific things to keep themes going, as I do know a little audio design from my time in university, but it's not much more complicated than that. Yeah, thanks for asking. Voxel Voltage asks, I love your humour style so much, and since you're an author, and I assume you'll share your books when you're ready, I have to ask who your favourite authors are and whether they've influenced your narrative style. So Sir Terry Pratchett is one of the greatest authors who's ever lived. I have unashamedly pilfered from his Discworld series for lots of bits on the channel. Flem's, Snod's and Graham's voices all come from interpretations of the voices I do for my kids whilst reading his books, and so a lot of that style of humour has bled into the videos too. But he's not the only source. Douglas Adams, Monty Python, though technically that's not books, and all other older British sitcoms, specifically for my humour, that is. As for my actual writing, I tend more towards serious stuff, like horrors, thrillers, that style of writing, despite clearly being better suited to lighter comedies. I hope that answered your question. W.MichaelDePeel154 asks, how did you find your way into Dwarf Fortress, and what shaped your sense of humour to what it is today? I think I answered this in my Dwarf Fortress review video, but that was after this question, so I can't blame you for not knowing the answer. It was Pete Complete's RimWorld series, the Ice Sheet one. I got super invested in that, and because of that, I got shown Krug stuff and then just got sucked down that rabbit hole of content. I didn't find Blind until I started trying to figure out how to play the dang thing, and then he became integral. I still use his videos to learn how to do stuff now. Initially, I struggled to enjoy it, then quickly got bored with the surface details, and it was only upon starting to make videos that I really began to love it. It's a little like Lego, you've got to make some of the fun yourself. As for sense of humour, I could just say rewind the video, but I'll go a little deeper. So, I'm autistic, rather unsurprising given what I do, and was completely unaware of this growing up. I didn't think very much of myself and was very sensitive to how I thought other people felt, so I tried to make them happy. I was the class clown. I still am in my day job really, but now I do it to make me laugh. I have distinct memories of considering myself worthless, my feelings irrelevant, and other people's happiness paramount. And this made me really good at analysing speech and body language and my environment. You should see me in public, I'm like a twitchy squirrel. And it led to me cultivating a powerful comedic armour. I stole it, piecemeal, like Tony Stark in a cave, but I think I've tweaked it enough now to call it my own, and I'm thrilled you guys seem to like it. Thanks for the question. Last question, then I'll close off, and this one from Ephipolism, who asks, not really a question, but I always find the segment with the crumpet failing to play the trumpet absurdly funny. I don't know why. I wonder if there's some story behind it. To answer this question, I have to go into detail about what the hell Crumpet Sounds even means. My wife, love of my life and mother to my spawn, had a business for a while where she sold mugs, prints, posters and things like that. I designed a few prints for her to sell, which I think she didn't sell even one of, using mildly edited assets on a program called Canva, which is what she uses to make my thumbnails. Yes, they're all her. She's amazing. Anyway, one of those prints was this. Somewhere. Trumpet Sounds, there to mean literally the sound of trumpets. I made this around the same time I was starting the channel and needed a name, and wouldn't you know, it was breakfast time. Guess what? Crumpet rhymes with trumpet, and Crumpet Sounds makes no sense, yet is hilarious and British and weird, and that's just kind of me all rolled up. After that, a crumpet playing a trumpet just made perfect sense. Also, my wife says the sound of it taking a deep breath sounds like me, but I can promise it was a stop gasp sound. Again, from Epidemic Sound. So, that's it. I haven't mentioned, because I thought it was self-evident, but this is my face, this one. My wife thought me switching between voices would be fun to see, so, Good-tam, me little dees were mead. Welcome one and all to John's untidy bedroom. Yeah, it's bloody mess in here. Couldn't you have cleaned up a bit?
I think it's very nice. I especially like the kittens.
Hope I managed to get that in one take. It's going to look weird else. So yeah, that's it all done. I hope you enjoyed this little look into my mind and that my face doesn't offend too much. Look after yourselves and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.